The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com.
Hope you enjoy this episode of The Drop. If you like these podcasts and all the other content we create, head on over to our websites and purchase merch. Purchasing merch keeps us going and creating more content. Our websites are grinder-tv.com and livelifecustom.com. We really appreciate it. Now on to the episode.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Are we ready for this?
No.
God.
But are we ever?
No.
Are we ever really?
Are we recording? Everything's recording.
Yep, everything's recording. Doing a little sit in my chair thing, got my coffee, and here we go.
Yeah, now I'm trying to adjust my camera from my phone.
Oh, and it's going to be all a little over here, a little over there.
I've gotten kind of good at that because I can do it while driving now.
Wow. That's impressive.
I was doing it yesterday, the day before, Monday.
You've been busy.
Yeah, like this week was.
Yeah, you've been super busy.
I know.
Me too, man. 2 weeks.
I know, and that's the other part that I'm not even an ounce prepared for.
2 weeks. I'm doing pretty well. I have, all my reprints are done from old designs. That's all wrapped. So I started on my new stuff. I have basically two new designs, adult and kids.
Sweet.
So yeah, my new Dutch design came out pretty good. I just got that all set up. I'm about to head down there today and just really start rolling on it. But
are we showing everything here so we can start prepping these people?
Yeah, right here. This is it. This is the print of the shirt.
Now I have to edit, and I have to leave at like 5.
Where are you going?
We're going to Disneyland.
Oh, that's right. You guys got the asshole.
That's why this whole thing got messed up, because we're not coming back till Monday.
Oh, wow.
So like I was laying in bed on Wednesday and I think it was when I hit you up. And I was like, oh, we have to do this now. And then yesterday got messed up because I had to go to the east side. Someone was like, hey, can you come shoot at this shop real quick? I was like, at this point in time, I'm taking anything I can get.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So then I didn't get back till late and I was like, shit. So now it's 11. It's about 11 a.m. Friday.
Phoenix time.
Mm-hmm. I still have to. Well, I got a lot done last night.
So, are you rolling out to Anaheim tonight or tomorrow?
Tonight.
Dang, dude. Well, I don't.
Lindsay leaves Tucson at 5. Or no, Lindsay leaves Tucson like just after 3, and then I think she's either coming here or she's going to Joe and Morgan's, and then they're coming here on picking me up, and then we're going out there.
Oh, cool. That's going to be fun, though.
That's
really awesome.
Surprise, Joey's meeting us there on Sunday. They don't know that yet. And
cool.
Eric's meeting us there tomorrow.
All of this cool stuff going down.
We offered. You were like, nah,
I know.
Not the Berry Farm for me.
The
next time we do this, though, maybe we'll make it like an annual thing, and we can have more time to prepare.
I head on down to the old poverty park.
Disneyland is
poverty
cheap.
park.
I bought these 2 tickets, and I was like,
yeah,
they're just basic tickets. There's no.
I know it's rowdy, dude. It's wild.
$430 or something like that
for 2 tickets.
For 1 ticket for 2 days.
What?
Yeah. So it's a park hopper, so you get both parks. So, okay, you get one park one day. And then, but if you actually like compare it to like the state fair, it's a deal.
I've always thought that.
Yeah.
To be fair to Disney, I've always thought that like for the money you're getting, well, there's a rub now. Because before like we used to go when it was $150 for a 3-day pass park hopper for the SoCal residents thing.
Yeah.
That was like, I mean, an amazing killer deal. That was like $50 a day per part, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, I would, even back then, it's always been expensive. Even since I was a little kid, it was expensive.
Yes.
It's always been expensive.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was like, you know what? one time I was there and I was like looking around and we watched the fireworks show and we're going on rides and they have these
parades.
Like, I'm like, you do get a lot of bang for your buck if you can do everything. But that's the rub.
That's the rub.
Doing everything, because there are so many people there.
You need 2 days minimum.
And also back then they didn't, way back when the Lightning Pass thing didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then they came out with a Lightning Pass that you can buy, and now they have like a tiered and it's funny. It's funny because I like read all this stuff on Reddit, because for some reason it keeps showing me all these Disneyland like subreddits, so I just read them. And so it's a tiered lightning system, and they take like priority, and the one person that I was reading their encounter was like they're very well off people, they can afford it and they can do this, but they felt bad because here they are just screaming through lines and there are just hundreds of people waiting.
It's proof that money buys influence.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like that's all that there is to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I've been wanting to go for a long time, ever since the Star Wars ride came out. I've been wanting to experience that, and because I'm not like a Disney fanatic, I'm not like a Star Wars fanatic, but I am. But I haven't been to Disneyland since 2001 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My last time was like 2013 or 14.
Yeah.
But also, so like, what's also interesting about Disneyland is like, without getting into the weeds about this stuff, but they're like catering to basically like 2 types of people. And from what I gather is they're targeting people who save up for a long time to do these like big vacations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like spending $10,000 to take the family with like airfare and hotels and park passes and food and like all this stuff. Those are like the whales, the big whales.
Yeah.
And then also they're catering towards this group of people who have good jobs, but don't necessarily have like a mortgage or like, they have a lot of disposable income. So they're like, and those are the Disney adults. Like those are the people
Disney adults. Yeah,
Disney, dude, the Disney adult thing is wild.
It is really wild.
Freaking wild.
If anyone's never seen it, go on a Disney adult YouTube adventure.
I think it's because, well, our friend Morgan and Joe, they are Disney adults.
Morgan isn't a Disney adult. Joe is definitely the Disney tag along. But I also think, but I'm going to see this weekend because I haven't been with him. So I'm going to see if
that's going to be another fascinating thing, is just like watch this interaction go down.
Yeah. Because me and Lindsay, we're just like the kids.
Right.
And we're just like, lead us to where you want us to go.
Right.
And,
right.
And Morgan is very much the leader.
Right. And then, because again, I think that's why this stuff comes up in like my algorithms, because like we'll see Disney something, we'll share it with Morgan. You know, hey Morgan, look at this, and then it kind of like becomes ingrained, and now I see like a ton of Disney adult stuff in my feed.
I used to go a lot as a kid.
It's fascinating.
I used to go a lot as a kid, so I am interested to see the
how it is
going in my late 40s versus going in my 20s versus my teens versus my
right.
childhood.
My high school, how they have like senior, what do they call it, like senior night or something, like after graduation you go do something. Ours was at Disneyland. And
most SoCal high schools were.
Yeah. So like after graduation at night, like you get on the bus and then you spend all night there. It was kind of cool. It was really cool. I did like that. They had like, it was like a different vibe. It was like very clubby. They had like DJs and stuff. So it was cool. Yeah.
No, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, Tanner's calling me.
Oh, tell him to. Hey, Tanner, relax, man. We're talking about stuff. We'll get to you in a minute.
I know. Let me text him real quick and tell him.
Well, while you're doing that, you can start thinking about this, because it's so funny that you bring up Disney and all this stuff, because I was someone recently told me that you had not seen the movie Cars.
Was that Bacon that told you
that?
That
was Bacon, yeah.
Yeah. Because he's making those tractors on 3D printing or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So like, it's kind of we've talked about this before, which is interesting because like, a lot of the times, especially I think with our generation, since we're so ingrained in like pop culture and movies and stuff like that, when someone hasn't seen like a very well-known pop culture type movie, the reaction always like, oh my god, I can't believe you've never seen that.
Yeah.
But we've spoken before, like, yeah, that's okay. Sometimes people don't see things.
Yeah.
And sometimes
people ask me, I haven't seen a lot of movies in the last 10 years, in the last 5 years. I haven't turned on my TV in I don't know how long. You know what I mean? Like in my living room. So it's like I don't know. It's just
I don't know if it's also where I'm at in my life too, but I don't like movies and TV shows anymore either. I love movie. Like, you know, we share a lot on our groups and stuff of like about movies and references and stuff. But currently I can't do it. I can't take the time to be invested in something, you know, because like when I get invested
I think that's a bad thing, a habit that we have picked up.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be the case if like say there was no social media. I think we would still have the time for the movies. I think social media has messed with our brains so much.
Oh, that's a good point.
That we're just constantly like, gotta check Instagram, we gotta check Reddit, gotta check whatever you check.
That's a good point because what I like doing is that's why I like sports, because like you don't really got to pay attention, and I can scroll my phone and look. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Wow,
a movie you got to pay attention.
Strong correlation.
Yeah, because then, or if you don't, you're like, oh, I got to rewind this and see. But I think it's good for the brain to read books, disconnect, read books, disconnect, watch movies. But it's something I don't do.
Yeah,
and
I don't read books.
I don't read books, and I wish I did read books. You know, because it's just good for your brain. So
yeah. Well, here we are.
Yeah,
but anyway,
who cares?
Who cares? On today's episode, we don't got a lot going on. We were gonna.
Come on, we have a lot going on. We've got your new artwork. I've got new artwork.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what we got going on.
It's just LST coming up. We've got guest episode coming up.
That's going to be good. Yeah, we can let people know about that. We're going to be having Georgia and Jaime on to talk about their builds and stuff, about Georgia's Toyota. Well, both Toyotas. Jaime's Stout, Georgia's 8995.
Yep.
That's going to be a cool conversation. That's going to be that's going to be cool too, because the last time we sat and spoke with them, we were still doing the like how we do this, like through FaceTime and everything like that. So this will be the first time that we all get together in person and have the conversation.
Yeah. Plus that'd lots of questions for them and what they're doing, because they're she's so good at like announcing things, but also like leaving people on edge, and then her truck. There's just lots of like things surrounding that and da 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 da. So it'll be good to do it.
And also, if anybody has questions for them, drop them in this video, or go over to our Instagram, The Drop with Frank and Brian, all one word, and drop them in there. So if you got any questions about Georgia's truck, Jaime's truck, their brand, they're starting a new brand. It's called Tired Automotive. So Georgia for a long time has had her own brand, Georgia. Just Georgia, that's her name, Georgia. That was her brand that she made merchandise for and did like photography stuff and made content. But now they're like joining together, I guess, coming together, like making a brand that incorporates their whole, because they're both car people. They're car people. They build cars. So now they're creating this brand to like incorporate the two, so it's not just so focused on her name and everything like that. So it'll be good conversation. If you have questions, drop them.
Nice questions. We're not going to read any mean questions.
Oh yeah. Don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk, and don't be a creep.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of dropping stuff and merch and all this, we have a new shirt.
We've got a new drop shirt.
And that's right here.
It's right here. I have to edit this all. That's what I was going to say. Luckily, last night I already threw it on a shirt mock-up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'll
really
just for my shirt, I'll just throw you the digital version of that shirt.
Yeah.
And that'll make it super easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my new shirt. Are you going to talk about your new shirt, or are you waiting for the video? I want to
keep talking about the drop shirt, because I am going to talk about my new shirt, because I think I have the video already ready. So if I can get all this done, I can release that video Monday morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be perfect, because like this video is going on my channel.
Yeah. Yep.
So head on over to your channel today, Monday, and watch the new build video.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll get there in a second, because we're talking about the drop shirt.
Which
our friend
super sick,
Chris Rhodes, put together for us.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's different.
It is.
It's different.
It's funny, because he'll do these, like he'll just doodle or whatever, and he was like, "Hey, check this out. I was just messing around with this," and I was like, "All right, well, let me see how Frank likes this," because I'm not going to say that's super sick and get him all hyped, and then you're like, "I hate that," and then it's just whatever. So like I showed you without saying anything, and you're just like, yeah, that's sick. Let's just do that. And I was like, okay, let's just do that. So it came to fruition, and yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. You know, it has this girl holding a microphone, and it doesn't feature any trucks. It doesn't feature. It's sort of like, and it features.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and also because we were kind of like a little hesitant in the beginning when we were first making shirts to not put our names on it because it's kind of weird, you know, people walking around with a shirt with our names on it. But I think now we're gonna give it a shot, see what it is. And also, what's kind of cool about the image is the name is they're kind of tags, you know, so they're kind of like a little, you know, unreadable. So it's not so like, oh, you have two dudes' names on the back of your shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of adds a style to it, kind of thing, you know.
And again, I think a lot of the drop merch is just, it's like bonus for us. It helps us with fuel money and hotel money, and it's just something fun to do. But it also, it's like we're not selling these to people we don't know. Like these are people we mostly know. So like they support us, you know, by doing this. So it doesn't really have to make sense. And I like it like that. Like it doesn't always have to make sense.
Yeah, that's a really cool point because like we're always striving with all of our other designs. You know, people who are into what we do, but also on the off chance someone's like, "Oh, that's a cool T-shirt. I want to just cop that because it's a cool design." Yeah, this is kind of separate from that. This is like a little insider thing. Yeah, right. Yeah. So that definitely does make it cool.
Yeah, I think maybe that's like the key to unlocking some of this stuff is that it doesn't always have to be a thing. It could just be. I mean, you've done that forever. You know, like. You've just like made these things that don't make sense to most people except for Frank.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
To a fault sometimes.
To a fault. But that's because like, say you're selling 10 t-shirts. If all 10 are like that.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a thing. But if 2 or 3 are like that, then it becomes fun for you.
Yeah.
And then it also like, especially with you doing, because before with BST, there was not really an outlet like YouTube or Instagram or like how to talk about Frank. And so now people get to know you on this podcast, on your videos, at the booth, and you can kind of, you could be like, well, this is me. I like this. I like random stuff. I like punk rock. I like Los Angeles. So I'm going to tie it into these few shirts. These other shirts, I'm going to do trucks and the normal stuff, which is cool, and tie a little bit, but these I'm going to kind of go off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, and it's fun. I like doing that. I always like being a little bit different, you know. Yeah, so that shirt's coming out, and then your new shirt.
Yes, which I was going to send you.
Do you have an updated version?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, send it over to me right now so I can look at it. Because I love the first you know, part, or what would you say, the first version of it.
It's very similar. Hold on. I think I put it on my phone. Yeah, it's very similar, but I had him change. What I had him change was the facial expression of the because what it is it's a panda bear driving a Toyota, and the Toyota is represented by, or the Toyota is the Toyota that I'm on my next video series that comes out Monday that you guys will see. So basically, every series it's going to have a shirt for the vehicle, but I was like, I can't wait till the end. I need to do this at the beginning.
Yeah. So that's the new build. You're building a what year is it? 91?
91 standard cab Toyota. Why am I pushing? Oh, I'm so stupid.
It's okay. So you're building a 91 standard cab Toyota pickup.
Yep.
And Panda's building it right now. It's going to just, so what's the, I mean, obviously we can watch the video and we'll have some more kind of info on it, but like, is this just like I don't want to say basic build, but just sort of like a straightforward bag, body drop, wheels?
So essentially it was supposed to be originally just bagged. It was buy it, bag it, move it along. But then Eric got involved and he wants that year truck. So I was like, okay, then we'll just co-build this thing. And so he provided the wheels, and he provided a couple other things, and he's just going to take it. It'll get to him running, driving, body dropped, unlike his other Tacoma, which was running and driving, but it was like conventionally body dropped. It needed a ton of work. This way he can I could be like, hey, do you want this? Like when we get to the bed, do you want us to just leave the stock sheet metal in the bed, or do you want to pay more to do a sheet metal bed? Like that's up to you. So he's just going to get it, and then he'll figure out what he's going to do next. You know, what final front end is he going to put on it? What if he's going to do 4-wheel drive fenders? Is he going to paint it? Is whatever he's going to do, he can do the rest. But my biggest thing with this video is showing the difference between buying a driving truck with decent body, not decent paint, but decent body work, versus what the hell I did with my Tacoma.
I like the way you put that.
Right?
What the hell I did with my Tacoma.
Yeah. I can't break it down price wise. You know, people ask like, are you going to show how much you paid for stuff? And I can't, because I work out deals with people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not getting anything for free, but I'm like,
would it be just a random thought, but would it be like, this is what it would cost to do this? Like, not necessarily what you're doing with it, but a body drop would cost you this much. A bag job would cost you this much.
Yeah, we could, but again, it's just so hard to do, especially with the Tacoma, the way I brought it to Panda.
Oh, yeah, the Tacoma is like a different thing, but this one's more has like exactly the point you're trying to make. It's a more linear type build.
The hard thing with prices too is I could be like, okay, Trevor, Panda, what if you were to do this for someone, how much would you charge? And he could be like, well, I charge $25,000. But the problem is
that's different.
It could scare someone away. It could do this. So it's just I'm just going to be like, it is a third of the price to do it this way for me. Or it's just, you know what I mean? Just I'm going to give roundabout figures. So
yeah, that makes a ton of sense, because if he starts throwing out hard numbers, then a guy with say someone brought him a Tundra and said, "Hey man, you would say you could bag this for this amount of money."
Yeah, you don't want to put a price in someone's brain,
right? Right. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah. So my other questions are, you said that Eric from our club is involved in this build, and you can, if we want to know about Eric, you can go back and listen to that podcast. Yeah. Because we had him on the podcast and we talked to him, and we learned a lot about him. So go back and watch that to learn more about Eric. But also, I don't know, in one of the previous episodes, we kind of alluded to that's where the wheels came from. So those wheels were off of his Tacoma that he had before, that he painted. It was white with like magenta graphics, which he eventually sold. So the wheels came off of that truck. They were the original wheels that came with that truck.
Yeah.
So are you going to like continue this documenting past you, like what he's going to do with it? Like, if he decides to paint it, are you going to go document that stuff? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe cool. Not in so much detail, but it will be I'll follow up. Like, let's go see definitely what Eric's done with the truck.
He's I sold it.
Yeah. Thanks. Say even with OBS, even with any of these trucks that I do, like I would definitely like to follow up with what people do to them, because the way that I'm going to do these, they're not going to be done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me and Panda talked about like doing some sort of like Panda certified, like this is a Panda certified suspension. So when it leaves, it works.
Right.
And then the person that buys it, like maybe if they have an issue or if they have a question, like they can actually call him and talk, because he's the one that did it.
Yeah, and I've said this about my build. That's exactly why I had some of the things done on my truck is when Sadistic built it, I said, wherever you want to stick your logo, stick it, because that way there is no doubt who did what. And so, like, if you pull the wheel off and look at the front suspension, it says Sadistic Ironworks. Yeah. If it says Sadistic Ironworks on the fuel cell, like it's imprinted everywhere on the truck, so there's no question on what happened. Yeah,
exactly.
So
I sent you that
certified fresh.
Yeah, there you go. So I sent you that artwork. I changed up. I didn't change up a ton because I couldn't do a ton, but you can notice the bear's facial expression is way better than it was.
Oh yeah, I do. It's subtle. It's definitely subtle, but I like it.
It changes the look of the bear. And then also what he did too, he extended the chin a little bit, because he goes, oh yeah, that guy has, because I sent him a picture of Trevor.
Right. Which is what you do. Like with a lot of these things that you do, like when you're doing the skeleton shirts and stuff, you would send Daniel, the artist, you would send him like pictures of the actual people that he could work off of. So yeah, I totally see it. I like it. I like it how it's more of a smirk.
Yep. And then
and the bamboo in the mouth.
Yeah. So that's very good. And the welder's different. So I went from a stick welder to a MIG welder. I swapped out the Good Life and the Panda Built from the glove to like those are swapped. And then I kept the GTV distressed. And
I like that. Yeah, that was a good suggestion on Will's part.
But yeah, that's it. We're running.
What Will said, like I didn't notice until Will pointed out, which is really cool, that the you can see the reflection of the sparks in the wheels.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool. Like little details like that are so killer.
Yep.
And that's what really like makes, good art from great art is the little tiny details like that. But that's super cool, man. I'm super excited. How does this, so you said you're taking a different approach at it, like doing the art before. Are you still doing Tacoma art at some point?
Yes. I'm waiting for some things for the Tacoma art. So I'm going to have Daniel do a piece of the Tacoma art. I'm going to have Dutch do a Tacoma art. I'm having Chris Rhodes. He's going to do another shirt too, but down the road. But like, yeah, the Tacoma is a little different because the Tacoma, like, I can't do the art because there's certain things changing on the Tacoma that need to reflect in the art, and So, but I'm just gonna start this. So it'll be this one, then the next one will be the OBS, and then So, and then, yeah, I'm super.
That's
stoked
awesome.
on it.
That's cool. It's so funny how because I mean there are only so many trucks we can make, right? But it is funny how like. Well, because you were supposed to come out with a Tacoma shirt last year, which never kind of came about. So, and I came out with a Tacoma shirt, which was a white Tacoma, standard cab Tacoma, on 5-spoke looking wheels. So that's funny. And now you're having Dutch, who did the design that we talked about earlier, and the one that you guys saw. Dutch also did that. Yeah. And it's kind of funny that now you're doing this like 89.95, and I'm also doing my 4Runner, but still a 94 4Runner. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, there's only so much. And then also you pointed out the other day how, because I didn't even think about it, but you're like, you're leaning into the good life kind of thing, and I'm custom life. Got a lot of life going on.
There's a lot of life happening, which is good.
Yeah, and that's
exactly ready. Good life.
Good. Yeah, that's good life. It's custom life.
I didn't even think about it, but I started putting good life on things, and I'm like, I need to lean into my name a little bit more.
Yeah,
Grinder TV made sense. And it became what I was known for, but now I'm just like, I need to lean into my name and do all that. And and people get weirded out by the Grinder thing sometimes, which is stupid, but it is what it is. Like business wise, if I'm going to a different show, like a not a truck show or whatever, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
So. No, I get it. It's like when I run into that sometimes with because my I think some people know this. The actual name of my actual company is called Grease Rags Manufacturing.
Yeah.
And when I was 27 years old, that made so much sense.
Yeah.
Grease rags, your rags, like it's car stuff, grease. And now I'm like, yes, it's GREA. You know what I mean? I should have called it like A+ printing.
I know. So it is this thing where like you're getting into this era of these designs are just they're because they're fun and cartoony and all this stuff, but then at the same time, like you want them to be cool and serious and edgy,
right?
And it's like, how do you mix the two? And so I don't know.
Well, and it also ties into like everything we kind of do. If you think about it, our entire scene is like built on stuff we thought was cool when we were young, and now we've stuck with it. So it's like the names of these clubs, Forbidden Fantasy.
Yeah,
like again, 30 years ago, that made a ton of sense. It was really cool, and it still is cool. I love, it is what we are.
A lot of these clubs are made in the 90s,
right? And then the
90s were very
different, edgy, Forbidden Fantasy. What else do we got? Twisted Obsessions, Freaks of Nature. And now here we all are, almost 50. I'm in a club called Forbidden Fantasy.
They're like, is that a strip club?
I know. Well, the height of that was went to my kids' assembly, and I had a camera, and like I had a camera, and Angie had the other camera, so we had these like big cameras. It was just dumb that we were like filming a kids' assembly, and I'm wearing a jacket that says Forbidden Fantasy, and I'm like, maybe the optics here aren't that great.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah,
right, here we are. But.
So we have new shirts. We'll have everything at Lone Star Throwdown.
Yeah, which is in again 2 weeks.
You're good to go down to get to Brandon's to get some shirts for me on the way out.
I always am.
At least you don't have to backtrack this time back I'm not past your house.
No, No. Last year, no. The problem last year was I had to go to Brandon's normally, but then I had to make a stop and meet Eric to get the part, and then I had to make another stop. I didn't actually get on the road last year to your place until like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then we decided to take off super early the next day. So I'm going to try to circumvent that. I'm going to try to leave like first thing in the morning, get down to Brandon's by like 10, which is good for him because that dude starts at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and he's done by like noon. So
Yeah.
when it starts getting towards the end of the day, he's like, "Hey, where are you?"
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, that's all good. But like I said, I just kind of was like sitting there last night, like kind of like looking at my schedule and stuff, and I'm like, "Ooh, it's getting there." But everything's gonna be fine.
Yes.
Because if it's not, you know what happens if it's not fine?
We make it fine.
Nothing. You just go and then it's fine. Like nothing happens.
Yeah, we get all caught up in like schedules and I do it mentally. I mean, even today, like leaving for Disneyland, Morgan is very schedule-esque, and so she's like, "Okay, we don't want to leave any later than this." And Lindsay's like, "Look, I have a meeting at 3 at my work. I have a 2-hour drive from Tucson to you guys." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, like we don't need to be giving anybody anxiety. We'll just leave when we leave." Like,
Right.
It is what it is.
Well, I'm taking a different, and I know this, I say this all the time, I'm taking a different approach, man. I'm just like, whatever happens. It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, if you look at 2 years ago, Mini Nats was like this peak of your worst nightmare stuff. Like,
with the easy ups.
with the easy ups.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Because if you look at like when we first started doing this, I remember you had a little drip coming off of your transmission plug on your Titan, and this is the first experience I had of Frank, the freaking out Frank. Like the world was about to end at that gas. We were at Love's. I remember we were at Love's and like Lordsburg or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was like, it's cool, man. Everything's
You're
gonna
like,
be
"It's
okay."
okay."
And you're just like, you're trying to keep it together, like not. And I was like, "Oh, this fool, he's freaking out." So, but yeah, from that point, and then the peak would probably be Mini Nats. But then if you just look at everything that's happened, everything's been okay.
I'm still here. We're still gonna do it again.
Yeah.
This year marks for me the 10th year of going to LST.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been doing this for 10 years, and it's just like it's a thing, you know.
It's rained. It's frozen. We've had truck issues. We've had all kinds of stuff, but it's been fun.
Yeah,
you know,
it's been a blast, man. I've had a lot of fun. My approach this year to the videos I don't make, it's gonna be like just kind of a reflection. Like I'm just gonna basically say like this is the 10 years. These are all the cool stuff that's happened in the last 10 years. Yeah, and then put a video together like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I'm so behind. I was like started Dino's, I got into it, and then I boom got hit with work. And so now I'm just like, so I'll finish Dino's next week. But now I'm just like, I'm building 2 trucks in 2 different locations. I'm not doing them, but I have to be there to do them.
Well, you're managing them.
Yeah, and so and I have to film them. One is 45 minutes away, and one is an hour and 20 minutes away. And I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm about to buy Panda a Pocket.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, you know, so.
Because he's pretty good, you know, to give it up to Panda for he's got a pretty good eye for making videos and stuff. Like his reels and, I mean, he's got some good taste. Taste, what would it be? Taste, like good eye, good ideas.
Yeah,
just fun things.
Stuff that sometimes maybe I lack in creativity.
Oh, creativity, yeah.
Seeing the final outcome of the video. Where me, I don't see the final outcome most of the time. I just start and just kind of wish my way through it.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. So we got some questions. We asked people to drop in.
Well, we got a couple. I wanted to talk about my Hawk and my drone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, totally forgot about that. Sorry, go ahead. I don't mean to railroad you there.
So, like these guys that were at Barrett Jackson, they had this thing. It's called a Super Bronco. It's a company called Alchemy. Mm-hmm. And they built this Bronco, and they took it to SEMA and debuted it at SEMA. And then they took it to Barrett, and they didn't sell it at Barrett. They just had a booth, and they displayed it. And they're basically like these tailor-made Broncos, and this one was the cheapest one they make, and it's $400,000.
Jeez.
So they hit me up and they're like, we want to do rolling desert backdrop rolling shots, da 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 da. It's like, all right, well, come up to my house because that's where, you know, we got this cool backdrop.
Lots of open space.
They had to come pull this thing out of the trailer, put the wheels and tires on it in front of the house because it didn't fit in the trailer with the wheels and tires on it. And they're like, yeah, we haven't even driven this thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, we put a half mile on this thing since we built it.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, well, we're going to drive like 5 miles down the road. And he goes, okay. So we take off, we go down. And I don't know these guys. They're from St. Louis and stuff. So it's just like, it's kind of nervous when you're filming for someone that you don't know because you don't know, how the reaction to anything is going to be, you know? So I had one of their guys driving the Maverick while I was doing rolling shots.
Oh, wow.
And, but he knew me. He's like, "You're a Grinder TV?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I've been following you for a while. I was a mini trucker back in the day." So I was like,
That's cool.
perfect. So anyways, we get down there to do the drone shots. And I was like, "Okay, go down it's about a mile down the road and turn around and come back." So he drives down. I follow him with the drone. And I'm looking at the drone screen. And then I was like, I looked up for something. I can't see the drone. It's a mile away from me. I don't know where anything is. And then I looked back down and it was like disconnected. And I was like, oh, maybe it got too far, because sometimes it gets out of range and then it has to fly. It stops and then it flies back until it gets into range. Then I can retake control of it. So I was like, all right, we'll just wait a second.
It's all.
The guy drives back up with the Bronco. And I was like, the drone disconnected. I was like, it's not coming back. I said, I'm going to drive down there and look for it. So I drove down there. I'm walking around the desert. I drive back to where those guys are. I was like, I can't find it. And they're like, well, let's go look for it. So we all went down there to look for it. I'm on one side of Sun Valley Parkway. They're on the other side of Sun Valley Parkway. And like 10 minutes into it, the guy yells, he goes, "I found it."
No way.
And I was like, dude, it was like 1,000 feet off of the road.
Wow.
Like, I don't know how, like.
How the heck did he find it?
I don't know. I was ready
wild.
to just write it off, you know, like.
Yeah.
I had already called Milan to see where he was at, to see if he could come up with the drone. Like, so look at it. It's destroyed. Like, the camera's messed up. So I was like, all right, well, we're done with drone shots. So let's move on to whatever.
Yeah, because at that point you had messaged me and you said, "Oh, look, the drone disconnected and crashed." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah," because that's all you knew at that moment.
Yeah. So I put it in the truck and we did rolling shots. We did photos. We finished up and I was like, okay, go home. So I come home. I was like, well, let me see. I did get a couple drone shots. So let me see what I got. So I popped the memory card in and, you know, it's got like 6 thumbnails of the 6 different videos. Well, one thumbnail, I was like looking at it. I'm all, is that a bird? And I was like, no way. So I clicked on it, and it was just the drone on the ground with this hawk looking at the camera and like looking around, looking at the camera, and flew and then walked away. I'm all, maybe he it fell out of the sky and then he went and investigated it. So then I looked at the previous video. Nope, he knocked that thing out of the sky,
straight out of the air. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it recorded the whole thing. So the moral of the story is always have your drone recording.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've crashed it many times, and it's recorded all of them. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like, you're just a bird, and you're like, what is that?
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe it was like close to a nest or something. Or
oh, that could have been. Yeah,
I don't know.
That makes sense.
That's crazy. It was wild. Like, literally wild. So, but, yeah. So I didn't get any drone. Barely got any drone shots for those guys, but they were still happy with everything, so.
That's cool. So these Broncos that we were talking about, like Icon here in SoCal, and that's what they basically do is they build like bespoke like Broncos and stuff.
Yeah. They're all metal with all metal. They're big wide bodies. So like,
oh really?
But
So they're a little more racy.
A little more performance. Then so they got modern motor, modern interior, heated seats, like all this stuff, and then like 600 and something horsepower.
Wow.
Like, but yeah, it's all metal wide bodies, all metal everything.
Do people actually use them for performance, or are they just cruising around in them?
They haven't built any.
Oh, this is brand new company.
That was their only one that they built. This is a brand new company, so they were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's pretty cool. Because like the guy in LA, the things he builds is more. I would consider them more like resto mods than like performance trucks. Yeah. And they're basically for like yuppies to drive around LA in these like vintage Broncos and stuff.
That's what these are going. These are going to be. If it didn't rain the day, it actually rained in the morning of this thing, and it was funny because it rained the day before. It rained in the morning, or no, it rained early in the morning throughout the afternoon. And it ruined another shoot that I had in the morning. And so I was like, all right, the roads might be wet. Are you guys good? And they're like, well, can you drive over here? They were on the east side. I was like, I'm not driving to the east side. Like, you have to come over here. So they get here. Everything's good. We're looking. There's storms coming in. We could see them coming in. And this thing has no top. And like,
oh, it's just oh, wow.
So we get done. We get back to my house, and they get about to load up. The second they get the thing in the trailer, it starts to hail.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So everything it was just a weird day, but
gosh, imagine that. Like, you're this brand new company with this fresh build, and then it just gets destroyed by
the
hail.
thing you came out to get didn't happen because a hawk ruined it.
Yeah, that's definitely an unfortunate series of events, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Do you want to do
also
the? Do you want to do the?
interesting.
Yeah, it's been a week. Do you want to do the giveaway?
Yeah, let's do the giveaway, man.
Okay, so
that we haven't done in a while. But first, we have to thank Alan Eds Escondido for hooking us up. Chris, he's such a cool dude, and he really supports us, and he really hooks us up on these things. So big thank you to him, Alan Eds Escondido. If you live in the area, you can go there and get stuff installed. Does he sell stuff online? Like if people wanted to?
I don't know. I think he might and ship it to you. But I think what we're going to do, we talked about the giveaway, doing it differently moving forward instead of doing it once a month or 2 months. We're just going to do it like quarterly or whatever. So I think we'll see where we're at money wise after LST and stuff and these new shirts and all that stuff. And maybe we'll put a little bit of money and get Chris to hook us up, and we'll do like a really nice, like double din, 2 subs, amp, like a full thing.
Like a full kit. Yeah. Yeah. So what we're giving away now is, hold on one second.
Yeah. And what I'm doing is sorting the names. You guys can't really see this like you do on the lives, but I'm sorting the names so they're all shuffled.
So we got so what we got here is we got some sound skins, like some sound deadening material, and you gotta need that sound deadening material because you got some component kits. You got 2 component kits. One is they're 6 and
6.5s probably
6.5s. Yeah, so these are 6.5s.
What's the brand?
They are Focals.
Yeah.
So 2. And I'm kind of being hidden behind it on camera, but we got these 2 component kits. We got some sound deadening material and a little roller to install the sound deadening material. So all of this courtesy of Alan Eds Escondido.
Yes. All right.
In Escondido, California.
We're spinning.
Spinning.
Jamie Richardson.
All right, Jamie Richardson, congratulations.
Yeah.
You get this awesome component kit right here. I wonder if Jamie listens to the podcast.
I don't know.
Didn't really think of that. Maybe some of these people don't listen to the podcast and only know us from like Instagram and stuff.
It's possible. We'll see. Yeah. I'll reach out to him.
Congratulations to him.
Yep. All right, so we finally did that after weeks of procrastination.
Do you want to do a runner up for a new shirt and a hat?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Yeah,
let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Christopher Taylor has a brand new drop shirt and hat. I don't know if we have any drop hats left.
Oh, maybe a shirt and maybe a Grinder TV hat. Or a Kustom Life hat, whichever. Whatever we got going on.
We'll figure it out. We just need to get that done.
Yeah.
Right,
well, thank you for everybody for participating and buying stuff. It helps us out. You guys purchasing merch like helps us out. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is a direct link from purchasing a t-shirt and then us creating content. Like one cannot happen without the other.
Yep.
If you like the videos we sometimes make, these podcasts we do every week, the content we create on Instagram, you have to buy stuff.
Yes.
So there you go. That's my sales pitch.
Let's get into these questions.
Oh, yeah, the questions. You want to drop in?
I want to drop in. Ready and go.
Yep.
Drop! And drop.
Dropping in.
Drop in.
Drop.
I dropped everything. I knew the drops would come.
Drop it!
All right.
Okay. So the first one we got going on here is our friend Jordan from No Regrets. He asked this question before and we always just kind of forget it.
Yeah, we've done that a few times with people.
So this is the first one right out the bat,
right.
Jordan. He says, when you have a truck that has been shot for a magazine, do you sell it and move on to something else, or do you keep it and ride it till the wheels fall off? My dad told me that's what they would do. Is make a mag and sell it. So
I think times have changed with magazines, because it used to be you built it with mini truck and mag, like for a mini truck at least. Mm-hmm. You built a mini truck with the goal of getting it in mini trucking. A lot of times, some people, not everyone obviously, but like that was high up on your priority list or high up on your wish list is like getting featured a mini trucking. And I just think even with the new mini trucking that's out, I think it was gone for so long. And then just the magazine industry in general has changed. And with social media being involved, like, I don't know if that's on everyone's now goal list. I think people that are building trucks are just building them for different reasons now.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. And also another interesting thing is like I kind of have seen this coming from before, but there's not a lot of new trucks being built. You know,
yeah,
there are some out there, but not like there used to be. I mean, it used to be like every show something new was coming out, but I mean now I think these trucks get to a point where they're built and then they get sold or kept, and then they just sort of like stay around.
Yeah,
like nothing really changes with them or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like if you have selling your truck in mind, it'd be easier after it was shot.
Oh yeah,
you don't want to sell it if you like sell it and then the next person gets it shot. You're like, oh man. But yeah, I don't know if it makes really. I think you'll know when the time to sell it is for me, like if I had a truck like Jordan's, super sick truck, but the thing is you take it to shows and the surprise goes away, the excitement in people's eyes to see the truck goes away. It starts to wane a little bit, and that truck is the same truck as it was when it came out, but it feels less badass, I think. You know what I mean? It's just like...
Which could be exactly what happens with the magazine. So, like, if you built a truck, then you get that rush, that dopamine rush of having it in the magazine. Yeah. And once that wears off, you're like, okay, that's maybe when you're going to sell it to build something else. That translates to shows. If you keep taking it to the same shows in the same way, then that dopamine starts wearing off, and you're like, I need something else.
Yeah, or you could do like what Oliver did and just put the truck away for a long time and then bring it back out. Or what Carl with his S10, he hasn't brought it out in a long time. So the next time people bring it out, it's just like they get excited for it. So if you don't need the capital, if you don't need the money, you could always just like tuck it away for 5 years.
Yeah,
work on your next project, get that thing going, and then when that thing is to where the truck was, then you could like put new wheels on the truck, bring it out, do stuff with the truck, clean it up, do whatever you wanted to do to it. But it just depends on. I think it depends on where your money situation is too, because a lot of people need the money from the one truck to do the next one.
That makes sense.
If you don't, and then there's really no reason to sell it.
Also, like you brought up a really interesting thing about subtly changing things to make them look cooler. There have been tons of times when people have, changed the wheels or I think what also happens is people get wrapped up in a thing where like, we need to radically change this truck all over again, and then that opens up a whole thing. And, sometimes it just takes some little minor things to make it cool.
Yeah.
Not cool. I mean, not cool, but
different.
Make it different.
Just freshen it up.
Fresh.
Throw some a turbo on it. Throw a the interior. Throw a different stereo system, a different speaker box. I don't know. Who knows?
Or like me, like I don't know where my dopamine rush comes from, but like I just like going to stuff. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? It is probably because I don't take my truck to too many things.
Yeah.
So like my experiences are kind of like a lot smaller than other people's experiences than going to a show. And show after
plus,
show after
your
show.
end goal for your truck was not to build a show truck. Like
a lot
of
to
people,
have it.
It was just to have it to participate in the thing.
Right.
So I think it's different in that case because that's the same with my Tacoma. Like I'm building it so I could partake in these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care if it's exciting, for people or not. It's for me, and I'm just doing it so I could have fun in it, like I did, because that was my favorite thing. One of my favorite things was just taking my mini truck to the grocery store.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when I had Ryan Nelson's old Nissan Frontier for a while, and it had the air tonneau cover on it. Mm-hmm. Like pulling up to the grocery store, laying that thing out. And then just like walking out and airing the tonneau up and putting stuff in the bed was just like, it was just so funny to me,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, Jordan. If you like enjoy your truck, then why would you ever think about getting rid of it?
Probably because it could get old.
Mm-hmm.
First, you know what I mean? Like maybe they don't. Well, I mean, but here's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. It goes back to that thing I was saying about like enjoying driving your truck. If you don't enjoy the driving your truck,
oh yeah,
then
true.
Like if it's not fast enough. If it's not sporty enough, if it rides not great, like if it's uncomfortable, like these are important things. If you don't hit those things, you're going to be like, well, why? I don't want to drive it.
Yeah.
I don't want, or if it's a pain, if it doesn't start, if it doesn't it could break down, or it could. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. These trucks look really nice, but do they? A lot of them don't ride nice. A lot of them aren't comfortable. A lot of them don't run great. Like,
and you got to do this. You make sure you do this and do this to start it,
or it doesn't go fast on the freeway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a pain.
You know what I mean? Like you get in your daily car nowadays, and 80 miles an hour feels like 40.
Right.
You get in one of these trucks. When I had that Nissan, I was fifth gear wrapped, and I was doing like 65. You know what I mean? I was
You're
just
like, this is not it.
Yeah, like diesel trucks just blowing. I was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it is one of those things where it's got to check all these boxes, because if not, you're just like, I'm not having fun anymore.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. So that was that one. Roulette asked, he's got a couple questions and one we won't mention. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I haven't been on the drop Instagram. I've been so slacking.
Because like Roulette always gives us one out of pocket question,
Yeah.
two real ones and an out of pocket one. But the real one, he asked, Brian, what happened to your backyard project, your pavers video? Did you ever put that out there?
I did on here. I put it on here.
Yeah. So it is somewhere.
Yeah, it's
like
on
I
one
think
of these
you meant if
podcasts.
it's on Instagram or
Nah, I
like
never put it on
YouTube. Okay.
But it's pretty much done.
Yeah, your backyard is all done.
Yeah. No, I got to add things like bushes and some decorations, but it's, for the most part, it's done.
Yeah. And then he said, you never told us about your MT Mount Rushmore, which I'm sure you haven't put any thought into since then. So
I know I didn't. And I didn't because I couldn't think of it.
right.
Like, because I could think of too many people. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't fair. I just feel like it's just not a fair thing.
You're on it, Roulette.
Yeah, Roulette.
You're
the only one
first
on it.
one. He's the only one. Just Roulette's face on Brian's Mount Rushmore.
No, there's 4 white dudes, and Roulette's like the Indian around the corner.
Stop.
I didn't find the right shade of mountain.
Oh my god.
The right shade of rock to carve him in.
Okay.
All right.
There you go, Roulette.
All right.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Whew, sorry, that was very funny. All right, so those are through messages, and now I'm jumping into the because I put it on the Instagram. You know, drop some questions, ask a question, and we'll just start right at the top. Tanner called you earlier. He says, "Is it normal to let your mini truck sit for 15 years, asking for a friend?"
Ask him. Look at his mini truck in his backyard.
Yeah, I know.
Buddy.
You know, which is funny because like I thought that's what he was referring to was
Yeah.
the truck he's building, but no, he's talking about your truck.
My truck, yeah.
For sitting for 15
Yes.
years. A lot of people were like concerned and puzzled about what happened. Like how did it get that much water in the motor?
It sat outside with no hood on it for a while. Mm-hmm. That's basically what happened. You know what I mean? It didn't dawn on me that could happen.
Yeah, like you said, you would never think that goes on. But then I remember I said that like, well, yeah, I mean, motors get wet and stuff, but usually you're driving it and blowing out. If anything gets in there, you're usually blowing it out. But that one was just sitting there.
Yeah, maybe the spark plug tubes were dry rotted because the spark plugs on those go through the top center of the motor, and it pools on the top of the valve cover. So like,
that's probably exactly what happened.
yeah.
Well, it's will we find out soon what's happening with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Bye, Felicia. Says, will Dwight ever return to the spotlight? I don't know, man. I think he's gone.
Nah, come on.
I don't know.
Frank used to be fun. He's not fun anymore.
I know what happened.
I don't know. Maybe. But the thing is with Dwight, right? It's like your show truck. You know, he comes back every once in a while to make a surprise.
I think the last time I made something was like, I don't know, a long time ago.
You got to be in the mood.
Yeah, got to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
But okay. MJB Taco, Michael. He says, this is an interesting question. He says, what would you guys like to see more coming from the static scene? He's like, it's a like broad generalization, but like, what would you guys like to see more coming from the static scene?
Static body drops.
More of those.
Yeah.
Just so freaking low.
Yep. Because you can get them low, but if you could, basically a static drop is only as low as like the frame can get to the ground, right? So
right.
if you're 3 inches from the ground, well, imagine taking the body down 3 inches.
And still having basically the same ride geometry.
It's the same truck.
Yeah, just lower.
So yeah, because and you're not gonna people always like remember you were worried like, oh, I don't want to damage the body. I'm like, you're gonna hit the frame at this, like you're not gonna damage the body. It's going to it's not. I mean, look at every single C10 with the chassis out there. A lot of them are coilover chassis. So look at it next time you look at a square body or a Chevy or anything with a custom chassis that's a coilover. That's a body drop static truck now.
Basically, yeah.
And so you don't see anything on the bottom. You can get it a few inches lower to the ground, and it looks super sick.
Well, the very first truck that I ever had experience looking at was the one you filmed in Australia.
Which one?
The engineered to slide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my first experience with a static drop body drop truck.
Was his on a chassis?
What do you mean? I don't know if it was a custom chassis, but it was body dropped.
Was it? Oh yeah. He put it around. Yeah, that's right. I'm looking at it. Right, picture of it right now. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Right, like that whole fitment, like getting the wheels and the fitment of the fenders, and you don't need to. In our world, it's always tucking the wheels and tires. Like, we might do that with a project in the future.
That'd be cool.
Me and Trevor.
Maybe the Nissan race truck.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I like that. I like that. And that's interesting because he's the second person who asked about this. I'm going to jump around a little bit, because this is interesting. So Michael asked that question, and then Built by Budsky asks the other question: did the stance movement cause the downfall of mini trucking?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Those are two different worlds. They exist in two different ways. If anything, now they're like influencing each other.
Yeah.
Because like, look at that. Like Michael, who's existed only in the static world, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. But he's only existed in that world, is now talking about like, oh, what if I did do this, like body dropping and stuff like that. And then the guys in our world, the mini truck world, see the static guys doing these cool motor swaps and like fitment and getting the stance just right on them. And I think they're actually like influencing each other. So I don't think they had any effect on each other.
Good positive effect, probably.
Yeah, I think so. And plus the stance scene is cool. Those guys built some rad cars.
Yeah, I think is it even called the stance scene? Is that what it's called?
I don't even know. I think that's just a reference point for us, what we call it.
Yeah, I think so too. There was an interesting article, and I'll have to dig it up and find it, but it was about the word stance, right? And so many people called stance the pokey outy, stretchy tires over the wheels.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And it's like, no, stance is everything. Stance is what we do. I mean, I think it was that. I think it was that site. Stance is everything. I think it's an Instagram page.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like if you have a truck body dropped on 20s and it tucks, that's stance. That's the stance of that truck.
The stance
it's
of the vehicle. Even a stink bug hot rod is the stance of that
stance
thing.
of that truck. Yeah.
Right. I think I think what happened was people outside of that scene saw the pokey outies, the super cambered wheels where they're just riding on the 1/4 inch outside of the tire, and they conflated the two things together.
Yeah.
They thought that was the scene that they're referring to as the stance scene. They thought that was the whole scene, that all of the dudes who build cars like that was the look that they were going for. Which is to say that that's like someone from another scene looking at our scene, seeing something that the roof is cut off and completely shaved and suicide door, like all this crazy body mods, and saying, well, that's how the mini truck scene is.
Yeah.
The whole scene is like that.
Yeah. I think also because there was some branding. Stance Works was a big thing. So I think that was just a branding thing too that connected the dots.
And even, you know what? I've never talked crap about those dudes because I think it's kind of cool.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Even the crazy, even the ones with the ones with the big wheels that are crazy like this. Like obviously there's some that are super. It's like equating like those trucks that they cut the doors in half and they put the motor sticking out of the hood in the mini truck world, and it's like stupid but it's fascinating at the same time. There is like that a certain cartoonish thing when the wheels are super duper like
right. But even that I think is kind of cool. It's wild.
It is wild.
Because like all of that's born out of the Japanese scene with those cars with those super long front body kits on them. There's a term.
Yeah.
There's something like that. But super over the top wild. I think it's all cool. Yeah. I think it's all fascinating, and I think it's all fun. It's just fun, man.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, there are some people who would say like, man, that is really stupid. But then have you ever seen that 63 Chevy from like Russia or like somewhere in Eastern Europe. It's a 4-door Impala, 63
Oh, it's
Impala.
super beat to crap.
And it's beat to shit. And
it looks like the
literally
trunk is
bent.
Yeah. I follow
They'll
them
post
on-
that and be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, this is the coolest shit ever."
Well, also,
Like,
I
why is
think-
that the coolest shit ever?
Well, I also think it comes with age and responsibility, and like you change because if you were our age and you said that truck with the wheels like this, you're like, that's dumb, that's unsafe, that's just dumb. What if you never saw a body drop mini truck going down the road with sparks coming out of the back? Well, you would say the same thing about that.
Yeah,
because it's unsafe, it's dumb, it's whatever, right? It's just this thing that comes with getting older, and
Right.
you're just like that.
Or more to the point,
I'm
like-
not going to ruin that. My people don't ruin their cars anymore. We used to ruin our cars. We didn't care.
right. Yeah, because they're cheap and available. and
Responsibility.
We
We didn't have responsibility. Now we have
Right.
responsibility. Now we're like, well, we can't put super thin, stretchy tires on my car because I need to drive to work tomorrow.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's all perspective, I think. Daniel, Pinnacle C10, he asks, what is one thing you both witnessed at a show in 2024 that you'll never forget? I don't know.
I don't know. I
Never
already
really
forgot
thought
it. If I
Yeah, I know.
It-
Yeah, nothing. I mean, we do. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a stimulation overload. Is we do so much stuff and see so many things, you kind of become a little numb to it. Really.
Well,
You
think
know what I mean?
if something like goes crazy, like when me, you, and Doug took the trip in the trailer, just with that crazy trip.
Yeah.
You know, like, so everything else just kind of, and then the mini truck and Nats where the easy ups got crazy, like everything just kind of tones itself down after that. And you're
Right.
just like, oh, whatever. Like, but to someone that doesn't do it all the time, they see it. They're like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. So like what I mean is becoming desensitized is like we are exposed to like some of the best trucks, ever built. And we go to all these shows. So they're like, I'm not downplaying what they are, but you do kind of like, oh yeah, okay. Like it's like,
So,
it's like going to
did you
mini
take
Nats.
that question as he's asking like the craziest truck we've seen or the craziest
No, I mean,
experience
just-
we've had?
It doesn't specify.
Yeah.
One thing you both witnessed at a show in 2024 that you'll never forget. So, I mean, it could be like an event. It could be something that happened.
Yeah.
But what I mean is from my thing, the point that I was trying to make is like you go out to mini Nats and you have the Stranger and Oliver's truck and Zach's truck. They're three of the most amazing trucks ever built. But then like you just kind of get desensitized to it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
what
don't know.
I was trying to
I
say.
don't think there was anything too crazy.
No, everything was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Pretty chill. Oh, one crazy thing, actually. I do have one, Daniel. Was, and this will come out in the video eventually, is when we were at Sparks in the Ozarks and that guy was driving around that bread truck and he pulled out, like he was cruising around doing the loop and then he went to go park it and he was backing into a thing and I would just like kind of stand there recording him, waiting for it to happen. And then steam starts coming out from underneath the bread truck and I go, hey man, I think your truck is overheating. And as soon as I said that, it's all
Oh yeah. That was
and
cool.
freaking fluid went everywhere
Yeah.
and like all this steam. So that was one crazy thing that I remember. But yeah, nothing. No one died, Daniel, that we know of
this year.
this year. Moss Low, Moss Pinky. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
He asks, what are the different ways to judge a show and what do you recommend? I think that's your department.
Not mine. I don't judge.
No, that's true. Yeah, what do you?
It depends. You could do your top awards. You could do points, and if you do points, then you could do categories. You could do mini truck, and then you could do categories of mini truck based on mods. My best way to do it is I like the top because I'm lazy, and that's the laziest way to do it. You know what I mean? But if you're throwing a show where like our show is not a serious show, it's a serious get together. So if you're throwing a serious show, like say LST, where, the emphasis is showing and winning and competing, then you have to get judges that know what they're doing. And then you have to have a points system, and the point system has to be consistent through the judges. And you have to, like, there's all this stuff. It's very difficult to do. And, but that's, if you're competing, if you're building a truck to compete, then that's what you want, and, but that's not who I am. I don't want to build a truck to compete. I'm not in that mindset. And,
Yeah, same. I just want to hang out.
yeah, I'm not in the mindset of like mine's better than yours, or I did something better than you. That's just the opposite of me. I want you to do something better than me.
Yeah.
You
That's a
know,
good way to put it.
so like, when it comes to like our show and the show that I, put on with the help of the club and everything like that, like that just that's my influence on that, is just like, we're just there to have a good time.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Oh, what you his name's Manuel. Manuel, you'd let us know what you think. What do you like? What does he like at a show?
Yeah.
When he rolls up to a show, what
Yeah,
does he
'cause
prefer?
That's a good question for him, because if you put money into something, what do you want out of the show? You're the one paying, like you're putting thousands and thousands of dollars into doing these things to your truck. Like, what if you go to a show and you have a judge walking around, like how does that experience for you? Because me, I could give two craps about having my truck judged at all.
Yeah, me too.
So, so it's just a different mindset.
Yeah. And from his perspective, I mean, he has like 3 pretty bad trucks. So, I mean, he puts in the effort, and, he wants to go out there and be recognized for that effort. So,
Yeah.
be interesting from his perspective. Busta, old friend from Barstow, he says, what's the next big innovation or trend? What's happening? What's everybody doing? Motor swaps?
Like in the world of trucks?
Like in the world of trucks in general, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, motor swaps.
Yeah, I think it's all pretty. I don't think there's much innovation going on. Maybe refining what we have already.
Yeah,
Things better.
Yes. So what I was filming yesterday was a guy 3D scanning an all metal Blazer for a stereo system. So
cool.
He takes these little things. They look like pieces of like magnets, like this big, and he puts them all over this quarter panel on the inside of this truck, and he takes this 3D scanner, and it creates a scan of it, and then he takes that scan, and then he's going to laser cut panels for the speakers to go in.
That's really cool, because then they're just going to go boop, 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 boop.
Exactly. So 3D scanning I was talking to him about it. His machine is like a lower mid-tier machine, and it was $12,000. So there's like,
It's actually not.
It's
in
not,
the world of that stuff. That's not a lot of money.
Yeah, because he was saying like he designs a lot of things like for law enforcement. They'll bring their car and they want like they like their gun to be over here, so they want a special rack or a little holster or something. So he will go in and scan the center console, scan this, and he'll be able to make it all. So it's like that could be something that gets introduced into the vehicle world. Yeah, 3D scanning, 3D printing, 3D modeling. Just bringing that high-tech AI stuff into trucks somehow.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's just a refinement of everything that we're doing now. I don't think anybody's like coming out with like the first. I think like what he might be referring to is like the first guy to bag a truck, or the first guy to, I don't think that's. I mean, that might happen. I don't know, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just taking these things we're learning and refining them. Because if you think about even like 15 years ago, the stuff that's happening now, like especially, I always refer to the C10 world because that's the most like, I don't know. There's a lot of money being thrown around in that. So there's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of like, innovation in products and stuff.
Repopped cabs. We've always had repopped panels, but they've just been cheapy ones, not meant for like a good replacement. But you have like shops like Premier in Havasu that makes GM authorized cabs for different years. And then, that's going to be a thing. That's a thing in the Ford world, I think, for certain things. Like you can get certified through the OEMs if you meet certain guidelines
cool
for them. So I wonder if that'll ever get that way with Toyotas. I say Toyotas because that's the most popular Japanese truck,
right? Where
they're just like, well, we're gonna. I don't know if it ever will, but it could. We're gonna recreate this cab or this bed, because parts are just gonna be. They're gone. So
right. Well, and that's the thing with those is those trucks were meant to be work trucks and just literally beat into nothing and then thrown away.
Well, and if you're building a lot of times, like you're not seeing the show trucks like the K5s or the K10s or the C10s or the whatever. You're not seeing that in the mini truck world as much with like Toyota 4-wheel drives. Toyota 4-wheel drives, usually people just get them and cut the beds off and wheel them like crazy and beat them up. But yeah, I don't know.
It might get there. It might get to that point.
I never, yeah, that's the thing, right? We always say, excuse me, we always say.
Am I boring you?
Yeah, man, sorry. No, we always say like, oh, there's nothing left. And then something comes out and we're like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
Right. Yeah. Innovation's happening all the time.
Yeah.
Brianne says, don't tell me what to do. Okay. K-Rad from North Carolina.
Yep.
He's all, what time we skipping rocks at Nats?
Yeah, every day.
Well, every day, man. Come by the crib, dude.
Yeah, well, no, we don't have it. We can't do it at the crib. It would be cool to rent a house on the lake there and then just walk out and skip rocks off the patio.
The thing about that area is, like, you walk 5 feet and you'll find a creek.
Yeah.
Swing on by, man. We'll skip rocks. We'll find a creek. We'll throw some rocks in it.
We'll skip on down to the creek and skip rocks.
What is it with men particularly when there's a body of water we just have to throw something in it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw something in this.
Yeah.
A couple more here. Trap Dad asks opinion on people restoring old trucks and making them their own way. Yeah, that's what we do. That's the
maybe
whole
it's like old trucks, like old finished trucks and making their own way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
people taking, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
People taking already finished trucks, changing some stuff to make it their very own. We've talked about this before. I don't subscribe to that. Spending all this money buying a finished truck to only go like, oh, well, we got to change the color and the interior and the wheels.
Yeah.
But start with a new fresh
It
build.
it depends on the deal you get and depends on the quality of work that's done.
That's true, because you could know that, man, this truck is built really, really well. The chassis is really dialed in, but I hate the paint and I hate the interior.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. And if you get a good deal on it, then you saved yourself on that. But if you didn't, or if you don't know if the truck's got good suspension, or you don't know if it's got what's under the paint, like, you could be in for a world of hurt. So
yeah. So proceed with caution.
yeah.
He also asks opinion on younger people getting into the scene. There are none, so
There are some, but
there are some. You know who's really at the forefront of making that happen is Dean.
Yeah.
Dean's at the forefront of finding.
But now Dean's getting to a point where he's not young anymore, and it's just like,
that's true.
God,
he's on what, his 8th kid? No, I was kidding. Just kidding, Dean.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think about it too much, because you can't change anything about it. You can't go out there and force your kids or anyone's kids or a young kid to do what you like to do.
Right.
I've said this before. The only way you do that is just by having a good time, being a good person, and then people will gravitate towards that. But if you're forcing something on someone.
Yeah. And be careful if you are the person who wants to, who is like, oh, there's no young kids in this, you got to be kind of more open to what they like.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? When we were young, we didn't have, like, video games were just starting out, you know, but now people make a living playing video games. It is literally like, they don't watch movies. The movies is the video game, where we get caught in this thing where, like, well, you should get out, go to the movies. You tell me the difference between sitting in a movie theater for 3 hours or 2 hours and watching a movie, or back-to-back movies, than sitting and playing a video game. It's the same thing.
Same thing. I meant more in like what they like, you know.
Oh, like vehicle,
like automotive taste.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like don't be like the stance thing. If some kid likes taking his car and putting a ridiculous set of wheels on it and making it look dumb, you know, don't be like, hey man, that's stupid. You need to come do what we're doing.
Exactly.
Be like, oh, that's really cool. You know, and if they want to be like, go more into it, then you can be like, yeah, you know, if you did this, it'd be better.
Yeah.
You know, so just be a little open-minded if you want younger people to get involved.
Yep, because they're going to do their own thing, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Because when you were young, you were doing your own thing no matter what.
Exactly, yeah.
Last one, NR Bears. He says, do you do the LST drive straight through? Not anymore. Well, no, actually, technically.
We did.
Yeah, we did last year.
Yeah, we left we did last year. We like to. It's not, the drive there is not bad. Like, you could do it, you know, if you
from
leave
your house.
From my house. Yeah. You could do it. But here's the thing with driving straight through to places. Yes, you get there, but you get there and you're wiped out. So you
Yeah.
spend the next day just groggy and tired anyways. If you leave a day early, even if you left like midday and got to like El Paso and stayed there and then did the rest, like you're not getting there super, super tired. So yes, you might get there faster, but that doesn't mean anything if you're just checked out the next day.
Yeah. Well, are we going to take an approach this year? Because I actually did like last year, leaving super early, getting to like Katy, and then getting to LST like Thursday morning or
I'm
midday or whatever.
Super down with that.
Yeah, because it was really nice, and especially since we're doing these like more not intricate booths, but these more like taking more square footage. You know, we're gonna take some time to set up.
Here's the thing with me is I can leave whenever you want.
Yeah, that's what
So
it comes
if
down
you're like, hey, I'm going to be out there Monday, let's go.
to. Like, all right,
You know what I mean? I don't care. It's just
well, we're kind of working with a skeleton crew this year. It's just me, you, and Chupas,
and Chupas' old lady.
and Chupas' girlfriend. Yeah, so we don't have Joe, Morgan, Lindsay, Angie.
No,
So
Huh.
it'll be fun.
Screw all of them.
Hey, Dean, sorry, I want to apologize to Dean.
What'd you do?
That was mean what I said
About what?
about he's on his 8th kid.
Oh,
As soon as I said that, I was like, man, what a
What a
piece of
jerk.
shit.
that's all right.
God, sorry,
Dean's
Dean.
used
I'll
to
see
be our
you.
punching bag.
That's true. I'll see you at LST, Dean.
Yeah, Dean.
We'll hang out.
With you and your 8 kids.
He's all, I have 2.
He's like, I have 2, man. God, what's wrong? Here's the thing. It feels weird when someone I've known since they were a baby now has
That's
2
true.
babies.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just weird, right? So
Yeah.
I'm taking my weirdness out on you, who is a normal person, who I am not a normal person. 'Cause
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well,
whatever.
that's it. See you next week. Have fun at Disneyland tomorrow.
Yeah, I will. And
Next week's episode, I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Next episode, all Disney all the time.
later.
This is not a truck podcast anymore. Bye.